A new map released by the State Health Department breaks down COVID-19 cases by zip code. News 13's Kimberly King has a closer look at the cities and zip codes with higher numbers.
The State Health Department has a website for the COVID-19 updates. It's called the Dashboard. There's a lot of information on here. And today, obviously, they have updated it. So now that you can search by zip code where there are hot spots on this map, you can see they are color coded. We're going to walk you through the process of how you can plug in your own zip code. The first step would be going to the top left where these arrows are. If you click on that, you will then get the legend. The color coding is by light blue to dark. It goes from 0 all the way to dark blue, which indicates more than 100 cases in a zip code. On this zoomed in area, you can see the darkest one is right here. This happens to be a Hendersonville zip code with 112 cases and 15 deaths. And this is Asheville, zip code 28803 with 18 cases and 1 death. We also see another zip code area that has a dark blue. This zip code is in Rutherfordton, 28139 with 63 cases and 2 deaths.
We went to Fletcher Park where people were getting fresh air. Dre Simmons agreed to try out the map.
Cases 112, deaths 15.
Personally, I don't think it's 100% accurate just because we're not going to know everybody that has COVID.
Josh Wilcox lives in Asheville.
It says 28803 Asheville, North Carolina. So 18 cases, 1 death.
I like data, so I like to be able to see it.
Sometimes it's due to a nursing home, so the counts can be skewed.
Grace Barnwell, a nurse practitioner, also points out that the numbers of COVID cases reflect it since testing began weeks ago.
So it doesn't mean that those are all current. They've had a lot of cases that have already recovered.
The State Health Department updates the data on their dashboard website every day at 11 a.m.
A scheduled Henderson County Commission meeting that included a briefing by the Post-COVID Economic Recovery Task Force.
How we can work with the governor to get our people back to work in Henderson County.
The task force is headed up by board members William Lapsley and Rebecca McCall. 22 people, a cross-section of businesses, health providers, civic groups, and others.
The estimated allocation for Henderson County is $2,160,413.
Members received a funding rundown from State Representative Jake Johnson, how loan and grant programs might help get people back on their feet. But County Chair Grady Hawkins made it clear he is not pleased with how the little local guy was treated in the initial phase of recovery in the first place.
Instead of leaving the small businesses, bread and butters open, we closed them, left the big box stores open.
From what's happened so far to what happens next, there is a villain in the desire to reopen this county. That's Governor Roy Cooper and his continued stay-at-home order despite what's happening all around us.
State of North Carolina would have to be an island to prevent the states around us, which has already lifted their restrictions.
As far as a task force update, a possible timeline, and guidelines for reopening, answers at this meeting were withheld.
All of that work has been done, but it's all on hold, so to speak, pending a decision from the governor.
The Henderson County Board of Commissioners respectfully request.
What was not put on hold, a resolution read by Commissioner McCall, laying out a clear message on behalf of all 100 North Carolina counties.
Topping the Haywood County Commissioners meeting, lifting some of those coronavirus restrictions. But first, they heard from a handful of mainly small business owners who say those restrictions have been hurting them.
We have got to reopen. We have personally lost thousands.
Our Airbnbs lost $8,500 because of that. On Friday, we had to put it on the market for sale because our family can't keep going on like this.
But don't bring this county down. We need to open our businesses.
Commissioners issued a stay-at-home resolution in late March, matching much of the governor's, but adding some specifics of their own. Those coming into Haywood from places like Florida having to quarantine for 2 weeks. A similar requirement for those leaving the county for more than 3 days and returning.
So those local restrictions are lifted now. If you're a second home owner, you can come into Haywood County and stay in your home. We still want you to social distance. wash your hands, and do the protocols that are being done in the stores.
The governor's order remains in place, Haywood abiding by it, but seeking more flexibility.
We would like to look at our own circumstances and be able to reopen whenever we think it's best for our county and for our businesses, and not what's maybe best for Charlotte or Raleigh. Hair salons, barbershops, and restaurants are still going to have to be closed because of the governor's orders, because he specified those, and gyms and spas.
Health officials with some good news. 283 frontline asymptomatic residents testing negative recently, but also a dozen cases last week infected through community spread. Commissioners measuring all data and taking steps. Small business owners say it's time for big action unique to the rural part of the state.
We do not need to drag out the opening of Haywood until the likes of Mecklenburg and Wake counties are ready.